Okay, hello everyone. We are going to get ready. We've got Chris from Crit Camp playing a Tempest and Necrium deck, and we've got Young Gumbo playing a Tempest Utera deck.
Yeah, I mean, we'll still play Keyforge, but
All right,
still
are you
kind of
guys
the decks, and I'm
ready to
looking
go?
forward to it. Yeah.
All
I'm
right,
ready.
let's get this game started.
All right. Good luck.
Okay. All right, so it looks like we've got Chris from Crit Camp has the Forge. We've got Hibernating Spirit. It's just pretty good to get out before they have any other creatures because he wants to come in alone. We've got Gloom Reaper Hag with some healing synergies. We've got Zrath's Will, which if he gets some healing off, we can get a free zombie. But we're choosing to just get this 7/5 out. Okay, it looks like we're going to have a trade just with the Stout Stormling. This guy's got mobility, which means he can move, tap to move one lane. Got a quick Hibernating Spirit coming out here in response. Young Gumbo, he could Disintegrate is an option. Right now he's trading. He doesn't have. He could Rhymehorn Charger to trade with the Hibernating Spirit. Chooses to get the Disintegrate out. Is he going to get rid of the 7/5 or the 6/6? Looks like he's just trying to clear the board here. All right, so we are going to trade here, activating this on death ability, putting the game in favor of Chris. And that is the end of turn one. Very quick gameplay here. And now we have Young Gumbo's got the Forge. Ooh, choosing to start with this Regenerating Raptor. Good old 6 attack, 5 health creature at the end of the turn. If it has decreased health, give it +1 health. Which is distinctly out of range of this Varna's Pact, even if he gets another creature out, which he cannot. He has no mages to get this Staff of Veirus off. Oh, we're going to start with an Everflame Phoenix going for the trade. It's really nice. You're going to want this Everflame Phoenix out early because it can get the level 3 out pretty quickly. The level 2 is just a big defender wall, but the level 3 is, I believe, a 15/15. And we're throwing the Camouflage Batterhide out. Ooh, that's a really good aggressive creature because you can put it in a row and just shove something to the back and get over. So I really like getting this Camouflage Batterhide out in the first deck cycle. And we've got this Unstable Lasher, which could deal 2 and then die, dealing an extra 1 to something. Doesn't seem like that's going to help any of the trades. He could deal 2 to the Camouflage Batterhide. The Camouflage Batterhide will still go over it. Okay, we're going to get a Varna's Pact. I'm guessing going to lower this Camouflage Batterhide? Yeah. Lowering that by 2, so it would become a 3/2. It's just mitigating that damage, and then it's in trade range next turn when the zombie comes up. So in combat, it looks like we're getting 3 damage, and then we're going to trade. Alright, so this is going to be the final turn for this deck cycle. We've got Chris with the Forge. Firestorm looks like it's going to clean up its own, but this turnabout might be pretty good. Hopefully Young Gumbo is thinking about position. You're definitely going to want to think about position anytime you're playing against a deck with Turnabout or Ice Storm. Okay, we've got a Vampiric Reaper. Deploy, deal 2, heal 2, which is nice because this creature is dealing the damage. It will get that +3 bonus as soon as it comes into play. That's a really nice key modifier and creature combo. All right, so if you're on the Forge, if you're not on the Forge, having this Windspark Elemental and the Fleet Crusher with aggressive is a really nice combo. Oh, it looks like we're just going to put this Arrogant Decayosaur to trade with the Vampiric Reaper. And most likely going to be putting this Windspark Elemental in an empty lane in his next action phase. Don't really have a target for the turnabout. The Firestorm will kill off both of his own creatures. He does not have a beast for this Soul Reap, but looks like he's just going to get that extra damage in to a creature. Oh, he's just going to take out that Decayosaur. That is a nice play. I forgot that the second part of this ability deals damage to the player. The first part of the ability deals damage to a creature. So you'll get some bonus if you have a beast in play. So he could go for the Windspark Elemental to trade in 4 damage. And okay, he's going to go for the dealing 2 to the Vampiric Reaper, trading, which is going to deal an extra... Oh, we've got this Piercing Lasher. Okay. So they're just going to trade off. Another play potentially was playing the Windspark, taking the 6 damage, hitting the Chris for 4, and then having the 4 damage hit the Reaper. But instead he wants to protect his life total and just start with an empty board. Now we have the Forgeborn abilities. So Yum Gumbo can play a free spell, and Chris can play 2 Spell Sprite minions. Let's see how this goes. And it looks like we do have some spells here to work the Spell Sprite minions, although the Firestorm will clear Spell Sprite minions. So it might not be the turn we see those Spell Sprite minions come down. Got a Stout Stormling with some mobility. It's going to be hard to block it next turn, but he's off the Forge, so Chris will be able to block this no matter where he moves. Looking around, probably going to see this Piercing Lasher take out whatever comes down to block. It's got 7 health, which is the perfect breakpoint for this Piercing Lasher. And this Yeti Warcharger says, if a creature changed lanes this turn, not if your creature. So if Yum Gumbo uses his mobility, Chris would be able to activate the Yeti Warcaller, but like I thought, the Piercing Lasher is just going to come down and destroy that Yeti Warcaller. The math works out really well here. Really interesting interaction. This Lasher getting the Piercing modifier allows this, when this deals damage, it ignores armor. So that deploy effect, it also will ignore armor. It's a really cool combo. So being cognizant of that turnabout, not putting things next to each other, let's see how Chris responds. If he plays the Unstable Lasher against the Piercing Lasher, he will at least be able to trade. Looks like that's what he's going to do. Dealing first 2 damage to this Piercing Lasher, and then they'll trade in combat, but Chris is going to take 8 damage. Still has the higher health total because of his healing cards. So it's a pretty close game. But Yum Gumbo is going to start next turn with this Stout Stormling out. Does take the 1 damage from the Unstable Lasher, losing health. Alright, we've got Chris starting with the Forge here. This Gloom Reaper Hag, Varna's Pact. We do have the Fleet Druid bringing in another Wisp, so the Varna's Pact can give something a -4/-4, which would give the Zombie Brute minion that comes into play from Varna's Pact a trade over this Stout Stormling after it gets -8/-8. So we might see the start with a Fleet Druid if he wants to go for that play. The Flamebreak Invoker is also just another good card to get out You'll want this upgraded so it can give aggressive to your level 2 creatures later. So it could be playing for the future play. Oh, looks like we're going to get the 2 Spell Sprite minions. Activating our Forgeborn here. Looks like it's going to possibly play the Zrath's Will into a Varna's Pact on the second turn. That's another way to get a minion out to buff up the Varna's Pact. Oh, looks like we're not going to see that. We're going to go straight for the trade on the Gloom Reaper Hag. Could still see the Varna's Pact. Oh, wait. These Spell Sprites are minions. We're going to get a -6/-6 on this Varna's Pact, putting out a 6/6 Zombie Brute. Ooh, we've got the Undeady, which is a free play because this Stout Stormling did get damaged last turn. Okay, we're going to see the Armored Rex. Now, this has 5 effective health. The Spell Sprite will not get buffed up enough to deal with this Armored Rex. So, potentially playing the Varna's Pact, putting the Zombie Brute, I'm guessing against the Undeady, and using the -6/-6 on the Armored Rex is what I would guess, unless he wants to get a good trade-in over this Stout Stormling. Let's see how this goes. This Armored Rex is a scary card to let live. You can lose board control very quickly if you have a high enough dinosaur density in your deck. We do see hovering around this Varna's Pact. Okay, who's the target? They're going to get a -6/-6. It's going to either be... Okay, looks like we're going to put the Zombie Brute against the Undeady. Oh, no, we're going to do an open lane, and we are going to kill off that Armored Rex, which will trigger these Spell Sprite creatures. Alright, this is quite an aggressive board we're seeing. How is Young Gumbo going to react? Are we going to see that disintegrate? Are we going to see the Summoning Council just come out with some chump blockers? Or are we going to trade with the arrogant Devilsaur? Now, I think just getting the trade on the Zombie Brute with either the Disintegrate or the Arrogant Decayosaur. Okay, we're going to get the value trade here on the Arrogant Decayosaur. Gonna let that 6 damage come in, so it looks like 9 damage coming into combat here against Young Gumbo. 2 damage coming in against Chris. What are we doing here? Why is this Summoning Council? Oh, we're playing the free spell here, getting the blockers and using the Forgeborn. Okay, saving themselves that 9 damage. Softening up these big targets for next turn. We're going to see a trade here, 2 damage coming in, and we're going to see a value trade on this Arrogant Decayosaur before this Spell Sprite gets any scarier. Alright, now both Forgeborn abilities have been used in the first turn of this deck cycle. We've got Young Gumbo having the Forge. That Ice Storm is looking really good against this Spell Sprite and this Undeady, and this Zombie Brute. Looking like, oh, gonna put this Armored Bear here, hoping maybe they can get a good trade in over setting up for this Ice Storm. That's my guess. There is no lane for this Hibernating Spirit to come in. And there are no minion targets for this Bone Scythe Reaver, so it might be an Everflame Phoenix coming down. Just as a blocker, there is one more turn in the deck cycle, so if you put this Everflame Phoenix maybe against this Undeady, There's a good chance it will survive to see the end of the deck cycle, bringing the Everflame Phoenix out. Yeah, this is pretty tough with this Hibernating Spirit not having a lane to come into, because on deploy, if this is played in lane with an opposing creature, destroy this. Alright, so it looks like we're going to see a Fire Fist Uranti. I'm guessing it's going to ping the Decayosaur. Yep, so that will trade with the Decayosaur as combat comes in. I'm guessing we're going to see an Ice Storm clearing this 6-4 and the 3-2. Yep, that's what we see. That's a pretty good math set up with those Wisps last turn. You know, he knew there was a 50-50 shot of getting that Ice Storm. Maybe he was setting up for that. That would be a great play on Yum Gumbo's part. Now, personally here, I'd play out this Everflame Phoenix. Potentially, you could put it against the Armored Bear to save more damage. Still, over these next 2 turns, only going to be dealing 4 damage to the Everflame Phoenix, so good chance it will survive. That is what we're going to see. And we will have some trading going on between the Fire Fist Uranti, 2 damage coming in with the Undeady, and the Armored Bear is going to deal 4 to this Everflame Phoenix. It is indeed what we see. We'll see a trade coming here. Will this Everflame Phoenix survive to the next turn? That's what Chris is hoping for. Oh, Zion. Now, see, sorry. I can't see how many cards there are in the decks. I thought we were 1 turn away from the end of deck cycle. That's my mistake. We're seeing that Everflame Phoenix come in. I'm going to try to keep better track of that. Alright, we're moving into deck cycle 3. We've got a 15-15 on board. This is looking fantastic. Ooh, this Firestorm is going to clear this Armored Bear and the Undeady. So highly likely you're going to want a creature that survives this Firestorm coming out. We could, this turnabout, not going to do enough with this 2 armored on the bear. Could at least kill the Undeady, but likely not what we're going to see here. I'm likely to see this Vampiric Reaper coming down, I'd think, hoping for this Firestorm afterwards. We do have the Piercing Lasher level 3, which is going to do quite a bit. Okay, we are going to see the Gathering Storm. So are we going to see the Soul Reap coming down just to deal 5 to a creature first? Okay, it looks like that's what we're going to see. So that's going to deal 5 to a creature, and is he going to deal the 5 to... Oh, this Everflame Phoenix is a beast, so we get the extra 5 proc, so he's going to heal 10. This Soul Reap getting both parts of it off as he had this beast in play. He gets to deal 5 to the enemy player and heal 5. Leaving a target for the turnabout or a target that dies to the Firestorm. Wow, that is a very good play value. Alright, so we do see the Piercing Lasher is going to come out, hit the Everflame Phoenix. It does have 4 health, which is unfortunate for Yum Gumbo, as this Firestorm can hit the board, leaving the Phoenix at 1 health, while clearing both the Undeady and the Piercing Lasher, and it's going to be able to deal 5 damage to the opponent's face because of this Gathering Storm. Is he debating on using this 10 armor? No, I mean, that won't live against this Everflame Phoenix, so I don't think that we're going to see this Forgeborn. Yum Gumbo will have the Ice Storm to finish off the Everflame Phoenix, or the Toxic Spore will clear it off, seeing the Firestorm coming out. Let's see how Chris responds. Is he going to go for... He could go for the turnabout, targeting the Undeady, which will then, the excess 5 damage will deal with the Piercing Lasher. That's looking like what he's going to choose to do. Hitting that to 2. Is he going to move the Everflame Phoenix and hit the face for 5? Or is he going to send the 5 at the Piercing Lasher? Oh, thank you, Bizarro David. Just seeing we got a subscription for Twitch Prime. Thank you so much. Sorry, I'm so focused on the stream. I did not notice that. Thank you so much, Bizarro David. All right, it looks like that 5 damage is going face, and we are going to see the movement away. Gonna have this Piercing Lasher dealt with next turn. Okay, we are going to see the Ice Storm dealing with that Everflame Phoenix. So Chris does have a bigger health total here on 56 going to 27. I mean, does have double what Yum Gumbo has. The Everflame Phoenix is gone, bringing back the level 2. And we'll see if that lives to the end of the deck cycle to come back. All right. That looks like it's going to be end of turn. Now, Chris does have quite the high health total, so Yum Gumbo might either be looking for a very aggressive, trying to end it by the end of this deck cycle, or looking for the long game. I'm thinking there's such a high health differential, he's really going to want to look for the long game, so I think he's trying to kill out this Everflame Phoenix. He is going to start with an aggressive card, just a 21-5 here, that Arrogant Decaysaur. Very high health total, but unable to give it keyword. Oh, looks like he's going to give it the 10 armor this turn, trying to survive, giving himself an extra 10 armor. With Chris being not on the Forge, there's a low chance that he'll see any face damage this turn. But Chris does have the Flame Break Invoker. Yes, that is a very angry Decaysaur. So the Flame Break Invoker looks a little less enticing. Okay, we are going to get a Fleet Druid just to get that 2-2 to block with the Piercing Lasher. Oh, it looks like that 2-2 is going to block the Arrogant Decaysaur, so I'm assuming we're going to get something else blocking this Piercing Lasher. Interesting positioning for that Fleet Druid. Oh, that Fleet Druid does have mobility. Oh, but the Camouflage Batterhide can silence the Fleet Druid, meaning he will not be able to move over and block the Piercing Lasher. That does mess with Chris's plans. All right. Sorry, we've got a question coming in from the other game room I just want to get answered about. There is a new ruling saying you cannot play cards of a higher deck cycle than what you currently do, than what deck cycle you're currently on. Okay, sorry about that. We're coming back to stream. Let's see what happened. Okay, it looks like, okay, I lost a turn here, but it looks like we did have the Flame Break Invoker just blocking the Piercing Lasher. We are on to the next turn. Chris has the Forge. Yeah, there should be 8. Oh, he took the 8 damage because There's stealth, so this stealth is going to keep coming over the Everflame Phoenix, looking like this Everflame Phoenix is going to live. But if it stays there, we're going to continue to get 8 health, 8 attack in every turn. So this Varna's Pact does not have any extra minions summoned right now, so the Varna's Pact is only going to be a -5/-5 from the zombie brute that it comes in, but that will be enough to deal with the arrogant Devilsaur. I'm trying to be cognizant of not moving from card in hand to card on field, showing that anyone might have something to deal with, because the players can see where my cursor goes. I'm trying to be cognizant and not reveal any information. So let's just take a look at what young Gumbo has to play here. We do have that Summoning Council to get an Oakfather out. Oh, we are starting with that Varna's Pact. Bringing out that Zombie Brute, killing off the arrogant Decayosaur. Now, yeah, thank you, Cosmic Crisp Apple. 56-27. Don't see how you might come back from that. Well, we do have 8 damage coming in every turn from this camouflaged Batterhide. Alright, let me bring up the UI so I can see. Okay, this is the last turn of the deck cycle, so we are getting an extra 8 damage in here. So it looks like, you know, we're good. Coming into the next deck cycle, we're coming in with a 40-27. Alright, so we played it on a mage, being able to deal the 3. Okay, so it looks like that unstable Lasher. We're just getting that damage here. I don't think that damage is really going to matter on this Camouflage Batterhide. We do see this, the Summoning Council. We're going to get the Oakfather to block this 7-3. It's going to live as an 8-1. It does have Breakthrough next turn, which will be nice. The Fleet Druid is gone. Both the Zombie Brute and the Regenerating Raptor will trade with each other, and this Wisp will move up. But the Everflame Phoenix does live, and we'll get to see the the Everflame Phoenix come in. I'm just going to ping this so the players remember to deal with that. Alright, so we've got the Everflame Phoenix here. This 15-15 is back. And unless we end up with a tie in health, we will not see this Everflame Phoenix coming back if it dies, because we are moving into the 4th deck cycle. So we've got 2 Spellswarm minions that can come out, and we can give one of your creatures and yourself 15 armor this turn. Ooh, we did have the 2 damaged creatures, allowing the Undeady to come out. That 3 damage from the Varus Staff of Verus actually coming as a hindrance to Chris, setting up for that Undeady to come out for free. That is quite a bit. We got board is full. How is Chris going to respond? We do have the Beast in play. The Soul Reap can come down, dealing with the creature, healing, allowing this Wrath's Will to come down. So even though Yum Gumbo has put out quite a bit of pressure here, it does look like Chris has some has some responses he can do here. I'm guessing this Soul Reap either going to come down on the Oak Father to stop the breakthrough damage or on this Undeady that has the bigger health total. Alright, so we are going to see that 8-1 taking all that damage, but that is 14 healing that Chris is going to get off of this Soul Reap. 7 damage to the Oak Father, healing 7. Because you have the Phoenix in play, you're dealing 7 to Yum Gumbo and healing another 7. That's 14 points of healing. Thank you for that suggestion. I'm going to turn up my mic. Let's see how that works. Let me know. I just turned it up. Let me know if that's good or if I should raise it or lower it a little bit. Alright, so we've got the Mindless Zombie coming in to block the Undeady. Awesome. Thank you for that suggestion, Otajima. Otajima is the founder of Hisho Gaming. Shout out to Otajima. Unfortunately had to work and not able to play in this tournament today, but we will be at Gen Con, and we will get quite a few games recorded and hopefully get some commentary and bring Gen Con to you folks who are unable to come. Oh, thank you, Bill. I'm happy. Bill, I'm happy to be casting this. Wanted to get a little bit of experience in before Gen Con. What is Chris gonna play? We could see this Fleet Druid coming out to... Okay, we're gonna get the block on the Everflame Phoenix. We might see the Fleet Druid coming in to trade. Either with the Wisp, he might put it against the Camouflage Batterhide to trade next turn. It looks like that 8 damage is going to come in from the Batterhide. Oh, no, he's going to choose not to. Is he just going to play the Fleet Druid to block the 9/15 and replace the 3/3 with an 8/8 and trade with the Undeady? Looks like that's what's going to happen. He wants to keep his health total high, looking like he might just try to keep his health total, force it to the deck cycle 4, end of deck cycle into sudden death. So this is going to go down to a 9/11. These two are going to trade, and 7 damage is going to come in, putting the health totals to 47 versus 23. Still, Chris holding double the health of Yum Gumbo. Alright, Yum Gumbo's got the Forge. The Staff of Veyrus deals 5 damage, which could deal with the Stouthide Stegodon. And we do have the Gloom Reaper Hag to put a mage into play, but this turnabout doesn't have any great targets yet. Might want to play the Gloom Reaper Hag against the, potentially against the mobility creature, or setting up for, yeah, how do we want to set up this turnabout would be great. Definitely going to wait till the next turn, to the next action phase, potentially use that turnabout. Wants to be thinking about positioning. How does he force Yum Gumbo to play into this turnabout? If he stops this mobility guy from moving, maybe not putting a blocker, anywhere that Young Gumbo is going to play a creature is going to be next to this big 9/11. So I'm thinking maybe he plays the Gloom Reaper Hag in this middle lane, so that the mobility guy doesn't want to come in, because Yum Gumbo definitely wants this 9/11 to hit face. Will probably not mobility into a blocking position. We do have the Unstable Lasher, which will be able to deal with the Wisp An interesting play that could happen. All right, we do see the Gloom Reaper hack going on the Stouthide Stegodon. I think that's a good play. Will trade over and does keep things open to Yum Gumbo having to play something adjacent to this Stout Stormling. All right, so we are going to get a Pax Blessing. He's playing around the turnabout. That's definitely a good play because he can bring 2 Oak Fathers out before Chris has a chance to respond with that turnabout. But he did buff his Wisp, so he could turn about the Wisp and the Stegodon, killing each other. So the turnabout is still a good play, but coming out with these 2 Oak Fathers is going to be tough for Chris to deal with. Now, the Everflame Phoenix has mobility too, so the farthest it can move is over here. Yeah, no matter what, we're going to be able to deal with this Everflame Phoenix. See, he could want to move it to the middle just to give flexibility in the future in case the Everflame Phoenix lives again. Comes back from the... if there's a tie in health at the end of this deck cycle, we will move on to another turn, bringing the Everflame Phoenix back. But we're going to see 2 Oak Fathers coming in, being able to deal 1 over the top of this Everflame Phoenix, and an extra 8. That's going to be 18 damage coming in, bringing the health totals much closer to 29 versus... Okay, so it looks like he's going to play the Stout Stormling as the blocker for the Everflame Phoenix, using his Forgeborn ability to play 2 Spell Swarms. So the Spell Swarm will die to this Gloom Reaper hag. It will not get big enough. It will only have 6 attacks, so this Gloom Reaper hag is just going to be chump blocked here. Oh, yes, he doesn't have the force, so these come in the back here. So it looks like we're just going to get a trade, setting up for a very aggressive turn next turn. Which, let's check in. I believe there's only 1 turn after this. Yep. Okay, so we do have 47 to 23, but we've got 16 damage breakthrough coming into next turn. The Everflame Phoenix is going to bring back the level 2 version. We'll have a chump blocker for this lane here. Does have the Batter Hide, though, to be able to get some stealth damage in. Is that going to be enough? 12 damage coming in. Okay, we've got the Armored Rex, which potentially sets up either for the Regenerating Rex or the Camouflage Batterhide to be able to deal with a creature and buff it up. Seeing as this Everflame Phoenix is... it's just going to be there. There's 1 turn left. He doesn't want to put the Camouflage Batterhide over it because it could just be... If he's got an aggressive creature, it's just going to be potentially replace the Everflame Phoenix after he plays this Camouflage Batterhide. So I'm thinking Yum Gumbo is setting up for this Camouflage Batterhide. We do get the Vampiric Reaper, increasing that health differential, going against the non-breakthrough creature that can get its attack pumped up. I agree with this play. So we do have 16 damage coming through. Now, the Camouflage Batterhide with the +2/+2 from the Armored Rex is going to be enough to survive this Gloom Reaper hag. So he will be able to battle the Gloom Reaper hag, killing it. Or does he kill off the Everflame Phoenix? Or does he kill off this Vampiric Reaper? He kills off... I'm guessing the Vampiric Reaper. Okay, that was a great play pushing this to the back. Not going to be able to get the health and the healing off there from the Gloom Reaper Hag this turn. We're seeing 14 damage coming in from Stealth, 16 coming in from Breakthrough. That's a total of 30 damage coming in, which will bring them to tying. He's got to block this Spell Swarm. But he does have the 15 armor for this turn, which looks like Chris is going to be able to hold off on this very aggressive damage. We do have the Bone Scythe Reaver, which will come in to block one of the creatures, I'm guessing the Spell Swarm, and then kill off one of the Oak Fathers. Let's see what his response is. Interesting. Oh, he is going to kill off the Camouflage Batterhide, giving this Fire Fist Urantia. Okay, so he's going to play the Fire Fist and then activate his Forgeborn to get the armor. Alright, so it looks like 16 damage is going to go through, and only one of that damage is going to hit face. So it looks like Chris is the winner of round 1. Alright, congratulations, Chris, right? So we got 16 damage coming in, but he's got 15 armor, setting down to 49 health against 20 at the end of turn. Congratulations to Chris for moving on to the next round. Congratulations to both of these players. Let's join them now.
Got rid of him.
Hello, guys.
Hey.
Congratulations, Chris. How did this first game feel?
I thought it felt good. I mean, he's got a cool deck. This Dino deck, this Rex card is really awesome. I could see this just overrunning. I mean, I think we're both playing Sunders here. We both are rocking the ice armor. He's got the Spell Swarms, which I was actually the most scared of him dropping and then doing what he basically started doing there. It was really cool trying to anticipate what he was going to do. It was fun seeing the mobility stuff. It's just some really cool cards in there. I mean, I'm actually seeing on the top of his upgrade pile this Windspark Elemental. I think would have been really scary if you'd gotten that out earlier. I love that card. I think we're playing kind of similar decks in terms of like burn down, right? I don't know how you would consider your deck, Yum, but
yeah. So burn down for sure. I think the big difference is that you gain health, and I do not.
Yeah, I think I built this deck to be sort of a glass cannon, but the beautiful thing that purple does that's been nice in this first set is that you can do stuff like that, right? Do damage, gain health, and it just kind of like balances the glass cannon.
Yeah, it was I was able to do some damage, able to set up a big board, big swing, but not enough past when that's all I've got is to try for as much damage at the end.
Yeah, I mean, you having I also was kind of intimidated too at this ice armor mid. Like I love ice armor at the end here. If it gets to this point, this deck is not meant to survive as long as I did. When I have to use ice armor, I'm scared. You know, it comes to where we got to, right? It means like,
yeah.
Oh no, it's my parachute, right? I'm like, oh no. I would almost love to have it at level 3. Like you had it there. When I saw you had it there, I was like, this is where he's gonna get his swing. Because you're gonna put something out that I can't remove, right? Like I was super scared of that working out, and I could see that deck doing that and just overrunning this type of deck. And also, you were handling the Phoenix really well, so cheers to that, man. This Phoenix I usually don't rely on, but when it gets out, you handle it great, man. Good plays.
Yeah, taking advantage of that Defender with your stealth, getting a lot of damage in there. It's pretty good. And you, Yum Gumbo, you played around that turnabout. You never gave him a chance to use that quite effectively. There was the one time with the 2 5/5s that traded, but the whole game, it seemed like that turnabout was difficult to use. So great counterplay on your part there.
Yeah, turnabout, I mean, if you want to load the board, right, there's no avoiding it. But if you're trying to keep some space, it's a good one to avoid. And then I had the Ice Storm, which I was able to use a couple times, but much like
All right, so it looks like we have a question from chat here. Question to the players. What are your thoughts on the strength of stall heal strategy in base format thus far?
Stalling is a very strong approach, right? The idea is
Oh, Yum Gumbo, it sounds like we're cutting in and out a little bit here in your chat. All right, but
yeah, I mean, I don't mean to step over him. I was trying to, I wanted to hear what he had to say too. I mean, like, I kind of ran that strat with this. Like, I kind of was talking to Yum about it. Like, this burn down deck idea we kind of got together here is sort of, it's great. I think purple, you know, we're saying, I keep calling them purple, you know, I should be referencing them correctly, but the Necrium, right? So the things Necrium can do with that health gain, it's just, you know, your opponent, and what we've been doing with our stuff here is, it's like I keep getting comments from players when they play this deck. It's like, man, I just see your health going up no matter what I do, right? And in this stall thing, it's just super powerful. I don't think it feels good to play against. I hate playing against the health gain thing. I think green can do it a lot too. Utera does it a lot and gets a lot of bonus free cards from the health gain. So does purple. I think it's a viable strategy for sure. But you need to be able to sort of survive when you get to that final round, right? I think it's going to be a thing, but you still need to have board. Direct damage is still overcomes the board, I think, at some point, which I was able to do with some of, like, you know, we kept talking about my Reaper being able to come in, deal damage to his face, buff itself up, and do that. The Gloom Reaper Hag doing the same thing. I'm gaining health and doing damage at the same time, so finding that deck that can do the damage and also stall is pretty strong in the game right now, for sure.
You got quite a lot of value out of that Soul Reap. Multiple times, I believe, you got the Beast synergy part of that, which is a lot of health differential in one card. I do want to start getting set up for the next round, so I'm going to cut off the interview here, but thank you guys so much for playing. We've got our next round, our next set for the round 1 of the tournament coming in. We have Aaron as Scuba Toad, and we've got Cyborg coming in. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thanks. GG's Yum. Nice to meet you. Thanks, guys.
Yep.
Thanks more for setting it up.
Oh, no problem.